Of the 9 people preparing for today's show, only one can win up to £10,000. The other 8 teammates will be sent home with nothing. Why? Because each of them will be voted off. The weakest link.
Welcome to The Weakest Link. Any of the 9 people playing today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. But 8 of them will leave with nothing as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
My name is Gareth, I'm 33, I'm from Bristol and I'm a development officer.
I'm Mike, I'm 28, a computer operator from Blackpool.
I'm Sandy, I'm 54, housewife from Eastleigh in Hampshire.
I'm Jason, I'm 33 from Welling in Kent and I'm a dog nutritionist.
David, 65, Cardiff, retired, now working as a TV extra.
I'm Anne, I'm 21 from Essex and I'm a research assistant.
I'm Helen, 28 from Newcastle upon Tyne and I'm a charity worker.
My name is Julian, I'm 33 from Portsmouth and I'm an internet director.
I'm Hugh, I'm 25. I'm originally from Anglesey and I'm doing a PhD in biochemistry.
Now the rules. In each round the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and you lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain with 0. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Anne. Let's play The Weakest Link. Start the clock. Anne, in which British country would you find St Andrews Golf Course?
Pass.
Scotland. Helen, what was the 14th century bubonic plague more commonly known as?
The Black Death.
Correct. Julian, what colour do you get if you mix equal amounts of red and blue?
Purple.
Correct. Hugh, what would you expect to see at the Globe on London's South Bank?
Shakespeare.
Correct. Gareth.
Bank.
What name is used for a meteor that has fallen to Earth as a lump of stone or metal?
Comet.
Meteorite. Mike, Canadian and kayak are the 2 forms of which Olympic event?
Canoeing.
Correct. Sandy, what is the leading female singer in an opera called?
Diva.
Prima donna. Jason, which colour is in the middle of a rainbow?
Green.
Correct. David, which member of Robin Hood's Merry Men was a man of the cloth?
Freitag.
Correct.
Bank.
For £20, what G is a semi-hard Dutch cheese?
Goats.
Gouda. Helen, what is the longest running play in London's West End?
Les Miserables.
The Mousetrap. Julian, who plays the character Ace Ventura, Pet Detective?
Jim Carrey.
Correct. Hugh, which author wrote Gulliver's Travels?
Pass.
Jonathan Swift. Gareth, in which Australian state is Brisbane?
New South Wales.
Queensland. Mike, how many different strokes are there in an individual medley swimming race?
4.
Correct. Sandy, which chemical element used in nuclear reactors and bombs has the symbol Pu?
Plutonium.
Correct. Jason, is the horse one of the animals of the Chinese zodiac?
Yes.
Correct. David, in which London area did TV's Del Boy and Rodney Trotter live?
Wandsworth.
Peckham. Anne, whose motto is Who Dares Wins?
Pass.
The SAS's. Helen, what is the smallest species of bird in the world?
Pass.
The hummingbird. Julian, who wrote the children's classic The Ugly Duckling?
Pass.
Hans Christian Andersen. Hugh, in medicine, what is toxicology, the study of?
Poisons.
Poisons, correct. Gareth, which Latin star had a worldwide hit in 1999 with Livin' La Vida Loca?
Oh, it's not Julio Iglesias. No, don't know.
Ricky Martin. Right, time's up, and you've banked only £150. You could have won £1,000. Whose fault is it? Who's holding you back? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Statistically, the weakest link is Anne in this round. She failed to answer a single question correctly. The strongest link is Jason. He answered all his questions correctly. However, he did fail to bank any money. But will our contestants have picked up on those details?
OK, pens down, voting over. Please reveal who you think is the weakest link.
David.
Anne.
Helen.
Anne.
Anne.
Gareth.
Anne.
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 Helen? Why Anne?
Well, she was the only person who didn't get one question out of the 3.
So, Gareth, you thought David didn't do very well?
Well, it's just because he missed a chance to bank.
Right. And how do you think you did, Gareth?
Well, I think I did very tactically well by banking when I did, instead of trying to answer the question, which I got wrong in the end anyway.
Yeah. In fact, you got every question wrong, didn't you?
Yes, in a sort of roundabout.
OK. But with 6 votes, Anne, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
With the question, where is St Andrews Golf? It's in Scotland. I don't know anything about it because I don't know anything about sport, to be honest with you. I think maybe the next person to go off in the next round would be Helen. She was hesitating a bit when I was on there, so that's what I think.
Round 2, team. You've won so far a very unimpressive £150 when you could have won £1,000. 8 of you left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jason. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jason, to 1 decimal place, how many pints are there in 1 litre? 1.8 or 2.8?
2.8.
1.8. David, in the song The 12 Days of Christmas, how many lords were leaping?
12.
10. Helen, if A is Alpha and Z is Zulu, what is G?
Gamma.
Golf. Julian, is it zinc or copper which is used to galvanise metal?
Copper.
Zinc. Hugh, the film The Green Mile is based on a novel by which American horror writer?
Stephen King.
Correct. Gareth, 8-ball and 15-ball are types of which popular pub game?
Pool.
Correct. Mike, which of Prince Andrew's children shares her name with the last Empress of France?
Eugenie.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
What is an eagle's nest called?
Erie.
Correct. Jason, the Brit Awards are associated with which performing art?
Music.
Correct. David, who in 1978 became the first boxer to twice regain the world heavyweight boxing title?
Muhammad Ali.
Correct. Helen.
Bank.
How many teaspoons make up a tablespoon?
3.
Correct. Julian, what is the heaviest land animal in the world?
The elephant.
Correct. Hugh, which Sunday evening TV programme did Hugh Scully host for a number of years?
The Antiques Roadshow.
Correct. Gareth, what sort of club is started by Brad Pitt and Edward Norton in the film of the same name?
A fight club.
Correct. Mike.
Bank.
Which Briton won the men's 800 metres at the 1980 Moscow Olympics?
Sebastian Coe.
Steve Ovett. Sandy, what would your hobby be if you used a queen excluder?
Beekeeping.
Correct. Jason, in which city is the Pompidou Centre?
Paris.
Correct. David. In the Shakespeare play, who kills Macbeth?
Macduff.
Correct. Helen.
Bank.
What do the initials UN stand for?
United Nations.
Correct. Julian. What is the square root of 16?
4.
Correct. Hugh. Is an aspidistra an animal, vegetable or mineral?
Vegetable.
Correct. Gareth. Is there such a currency as the Cypriot pound?
There is.
Correct. Mike. Where would you find the yeoman guards?
The Tower of London.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
What is a tourniquet? Time's up. I can't complete the question. You've done better, team. You banked £650, but of course you could have won another 1,000. Who's got to go? One of you is about to leave the studio with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics on this round show that David is in fact the weakest link and that Hugh is the strongest link. However, will the team vote the same way?
OK, pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
David.
Helen.
David.
Hugh.
Hugh.
Julian.
Helen.
Helen.
Hugh. Why Helen?
Well, I kind of lost track of who answered what, and I just remember Helen getting a question wrong, so...
Right. How do you think you did, David?
50%.
And compared to the rest, how do you think you did?
Below average.
Well below average, wasn't it? You were, statistically, the weakest link.
Ah.
But Helen, with 3 votes, your team have made you the weakest link. Goodbye.
I didn't actually expect to go home with the money, but I did think that I would get further than I did today.
Round 3. Now, you've won £800 so far, but you could have won 2,000 by now. You're down to 7. We're taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Hugh. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Hugh, in what year during the 1990s did South Africa rejoin the Commonwealth?
92.
1994. Gareth, Guinevere was the wife of which legendary king?
King Arthur.
Correct. Mike, which singer's regular backing group was the Wailers?
Bob Marley.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
Which disease is transmitted to humans by mosquitoes?
Malaria.
Correct. Jason, what is the largest ocean in the world?
Pacific.
Correct. David, the peach and apricot were first cultivated in which country?
Australia.
China. Julian, which American awards ceremony usually takes place on the last Sunday of March?
The Oscars.
The Academy Awards or the Oscars? Hugh, what were the Christian names of Morecambe and Wise?
Eric and Ernie.
Correct. Gareth, complete the title of this opera, The What of Seville?
Barber.
Correct. Mike.
Bank.
Which golfer is nicknamed the Great White Shark because of his blonde hair?
Greg Norman.
Correct. Sandy, what name was given to the tall, dome-shaped female hairstyle popular during the 50s?
Beehive.
Correct. Jason, who is the Queen's eldest son?
Charles.
Correct. David, during which battle was Nelson killed?
Trafalgar.
Correct. Julian.
Bank.
In which modern country would you find Mecca?
Pakistan.
Saudi Arabia. Hugh, which actress played the lead in the film And God Created Woman?
Vivian Lee.
Brigitte Bardot. Gareth, which part of the body is affected by gingivitis?
Gums, the mouth.
Correct. Mike, what is the capital of Iceland?
Reykjavik.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
What does Alice have to go down to get into Wonderland?
A rabbit hole.
Correct. Jason, In 1698, Peter the Great of Russia introduced a tax on what male facial adornment?
Beards.
Correct. David, what M is the son of TV interviewer Mrs. Merton?
Mike.
Malcolm. Julian, which 19th century American hero was famous for wearing a hat with a raccoon tail hanging from the back?
Pass.
Davy Crockett. Hugh, what is measured in amperes?
Electricity.
The time is up and I cannot accept your answer. Right, team, you missed your £1,000 target this time round yet again. You won £400. There's somebody here you would be very much better off without. One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Well, the team have noticed that Hugh, although he was the strongest link in the last round, is the weakest link this time. But it's David who's lost the team the most money. Will the votes follow the facts?
OK, pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
David.
Hugh.
David.
David.
Julian.
Hugh.
David.
Sandy, why David?
I think because he didn't bank when he had the opportunity to.
Hugh, statistically, you were the weakest link. But David, in terms of votes, with 4 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think I deserved another chance. I would then, I think, have had a better roll of the dice, and I might have reached the last 2. In the next round, my prediction would be the next person voted off would be Hugh.
Round 4. You've won £1,200 out of potential prize money of £3,000. There are 6 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have just 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Mike. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Which BBC TV show featured the accident-prone Frank Spencer?
Some mothers do have them.
Correct, Sandy. What geographical term is given to a country that is surrounded by land on all sides?
Ireland.
Landlocked. Jason, the zloty is the currency of which European country?
Poland.
Correct. Julian, what was former US President Ronald Reagan's profession before politics?
He was an actor.
Correct. Hugh, how many edges does a cube have?
16.
12. Gareth, budgerigars are native to which country?
Madagascar.
Australia. Mike, Kaylee and Lavender were which group's 2 biggest hits?
Pass.
Marillion. Sandy, which sport features the positions of centre and goal attack?
Netball.
Correct. Jason, which Dickens character has a clerk called Bob Cratchit?
Scrooge.
Correct. Julian, who did Bill Clinton succeed as American president?
George Bush.
Correct. Hugh.
Bank.
Which N was the Roman emperor who persecuted the Christians in the 1st century AD?
Nero.
Correct. Gareth, is the inner core of the Earth liquid or solid?
It's solid.
Correct. Mike, what is the name of the Roman Catholic shrine in France where St. Bernadette came from?
Lourdes.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
Who directed and starred in the film Citizen Kane?
Orson Welles.
Correct. Jason, carotene is the most important source of which vitamin?
A.
Correct. Julian, which artist created the sculpture called The Kiss?
Henry Moore.
Rodin. Hugh, which ingredient in cake making usually consists of a mixture of sodium bicarbonate and tartaric acid?
Bicarbonate soda.
Baking powder. Gareth, who is the current Deputy Prime Minister?
John Prescott.
Correct. Mike, Darcy Bussell is associated with which performing art?
Ballet.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
What nationality is the composer Henryk Gorski?
Russian.
Polish. Jason, which city along with Manchester? Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And again, you didn't win the £1,000. You won only 250. Somebody is weighing you down. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second time in a row, Hugh is statistically the weakest link, although only he and Sandy bagged the team any money. Will this help him survive another vote?
OK, pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Hugh.
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 Sandy.
Hugh.
Mike.
Gareth, why Hugh?
Well, poor Hugh, I think, was getting a bit panicky in that round. He was banking too early, getting flummoxed over the questions. So I just think we'd be better off without him.
Julian, did you want this side all to yourself?
Yeah, it's a bit of space. No, Hugh's been, fair to say, consistently poor for the past 2-3 rounds, so it's got to go.
Well, Hugh, you've heard it from Julian. You've been consistently poor. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm feeling very disappointed. I was really hoping to go pretty far. But it's not nice to hear everyone say that I've been consistently poor for the last 2 rounds, although that was a bit strong. I think that the person to go next will probably be Gareth, because he seemed to be having a lot of trouble to start with.
Round 5. Now, your total so far is £1,450. If you'd hit your targets, of course, you'd now have £4,000. 5 players left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We are starting with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jason. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jason, what type of food is a bluet?
Fish.
A mushroom. Julian, which animal played the lead role in the film Babe?
A pig.
Correct. Gareth, which tea was the founder of the Red Army in Russia in 1940?
I don't know.
Trotsky. Mike.
Bank.
Who wrote the play A Streetcar Named Desire?
Tennessee Williams.
Correct. Sandy, what is PM an abbreviation for, as in 5 p.m?
Post-meridian.
Correct. Jason, the Treaty of Versailles was signed at the end of which war?
First World War.
Correct. Julian, what relation was King Richard I to his successor to the throne, King John?
It was father.
Brother. Gareth, what was the unique result of the 1877 University Boat Race?
Draw.
Correct. Mike, in biology, which 2 letters are used to designate male and female chromosomes?
X and Y.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
What would you be doing if you were pulling ropes attached to clappers?
Bell ringing.
Correct. Jason, which play does Shakespeare struggle to write in the film Shakespeare in Love?
Romeo and Juliet.
Correct. Julian, in which county would you find the nuclear power plant Sellafield?
Yorkshire.
Cumbria. Gareth, what is the fruit of the blackthorn tree called?
A raspberry.
Slow. Mike, what does AWOL stand for?
Absent without leave.
Correct. Sandy, quicksilver is the old name for which metallic element?
Mercury.
Correct. Jason, which annual international festival of opera is held near Lewes, East Sussex?
Got no idea.
Glyndebourne. Julian, Attila the Hun was from which continent?
Asia.
Correct. Gareth, the Highfield Road Stadium is the home of which Premiership football team?
Oh, Liverpool.
Coventry City. Mike, from which cape is the American space shuttle launched?
Canaveral.
Correct. Sandy, who writes the Discworld novels?
Pass.
Terry Pratchett. Jason, Edward Jenner discovered the cowpox could protect humans against which more serious disease? Time's up. I cannot accept your answer. And with £1,000 possible in that round, you've won only 50. Somebody is struggling very badly and costing you money. They have outstayed their welcome. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Well, the team have noticed that statistically Gareth is the weakest link with the most answers wrong, or that Julian lost them £300. How will the votes compare to the facts?
OK, pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Julian.
Julian.
Jason.
Sandy.
Gareth.
Gareth, not keen on football?
No, I don't. I certainly don't follow Coventry City, I'm afraid. Sure,
Or
they're very
Liverpool,
good.
in fact,
Oh,
obviously.
Liverpool, no. No, I got
No.
that one a bit wrong, didn't I? I should have known that one. But,
Yeah.
was it Aintree?
Wasn't the only one you got wrong, was it?
No, it wasn't, no. But,
You only got one right, in fact, didn't you?
I did, yes, but tactically I didn't lose any through not banking in time.
Julian, why Gareth?
Because he got the least answers correct. He actually got less answers correct than me, I believe.
You're absolutely right. However, Julian, with 2 votes, you have been voted the weakest link. Goodbye.
I mean, that was totally unfair, and I'm sort of quite disgusted by that. Basically, I answered a lot of questions. I got more questions in that last round than anyone else, and I've consistently done that. There were people on the side that were banking at £50, which is clearly ridiculous. There were people that just couldn't answer the questions. I think I got 1 wrong in that last round. In the end, I still got voted off. In the next round, it's going to be down to 1 of 2 people. Either Gareth will be thrown off for his inability to answer questions, or Sandy will be taken off for inappropriate banking and tactics.
Team, we're on round 6 and you've won £1,500 when you could have won 5,000. There are 4 of you left. You've ruthlessly kicked off the losers. We are now cutting another 10 seconds from your time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Mike. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Mike, in fashion, a long scarf made of feathers or fur is called a what?
A boa.
Correct. Sandy, which British king abdicated in December 1936?
Edward VIII.
Correct. Jason, which insect takes its name from its antler-like jaws?
Stag beetle.
Correct. Gareth.
Bank.
Which form of tear gas was invented by Carson and Staunton?
CS gas.
Correct. Mike, who wrote My Family and Other Animals?
Gerald Durrell.
Correct. Sandy, in what century was the Spanish Armada defeated?
16th.
Correct. Jason, name the legendary Swiss hero who shot an apple off his son's head.
William Tell.
Correct. Gareth.
Bank.
In which British city can you board a plane at Aldergrove Airport?
Belfast.
Correct. Mike, who had a big hit in 1986 with the song Lady in Red?
Christopher.
Correct. Sandy.
Bank.
Which Oscar-winning film is known in Italy as La Vita è Bella?
Pass.
Life is Beautiful. Jason, who was the next ruler after the execution of King Charles I?
Cromwell.
Correct. Gareth, name the current Irish Prime Minister.
Ahern.
Correct. Mike, what's the first name of cricketer Ian Botham's sporting son?
Pass.
Liam. Sandy, Phnom Penh is the capital of which country?
Vietnam.
Cambodia. Jason, what sea is the name given to the metal boot spikes which mountaineers use for ice climbing?
Calipers.
Crampons. Gareth, in which year did the Maastricht Treaty turn the European Community into the European Union?
76.
1993. Mike, what day of the week is the Jewish Day of Worship?
Saturday.
Correct. Sandy, who is the lead singer of the band U2?
Bono.
Correct. Jason,
Bank.
who played the male lead in the film Enemy of the State?
Will Smith.
Correct. Time is up. £400 banked. Another £1,000 target missed. Who's surplus? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics on this round show that for the first time, Sandy is the weakest link, and for the third time in the game, Jason is the strongest link. But will our contestants have picked up on those details?
OK, pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mike.
Sandy.
Mike.
Sandy.
Because in fact, we have a tie here with Sandy and Mike. 2 votes each. Sandy, why did you vote for Mike?
I thought there was some hesitation in the last round, and time is getting quite short now, so I thought we needed to sort of speed it up a bit.
Why Sandy, Mike?
I thought you had a couple of questions wrong, and that's basically the only reason.
Well, Jason, your moment might have come because you've been trying to get rid of Sandy for several rounds. You don't
Yes.
want any women in this game.
It's got nothing to do with it. I'm not sexist or anything.
No.
I just think Sandy's been banking too small amounts too often. And it's not, we haven't been able to get the chain going to get the money up.
Right. Well, you are the strongest link, Jason. You can decide.
Oh, thank you. It's got to be Sandy.
Sandy, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I felt the men were ganging up on me a little bit, perhaps because I was the only girl left, I don't know. I thought Jason particularly had it in for me. I think in the next round, the next person to go is going to be Gareth.
Round 7. You've got £1,900 out of a possible 6,000. There are 3 of you left. I'm taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We will start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jason. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jason, which Welsh writer wrote Under Milkwood?
Dylan Thomas.
Correct. Gareth, who or what was stolen from a stud farm on February the 8th, 1983?
Red rum.
Shergar. Mike, what S is the alternative art of stimulating the vital points of the body to aid healing?
Pass.
Shiatsu. Jason, in monetary terms, what does ISA stand for?
Individual savings account.
Correct. Gareth, in which industry does the cartoon character Homer Simpson work?
Nuclear industry.
Correct. Mike.
Bank.
Which part of the eye controls the amount of light entering the pupil?
The iris.
Correct. Jason, who is the spoof radio and TV presenter played by comedian Steve Coogan?
Don't know.
Alan Partridge. Gareth, what is the nickname of the New Zealand Rugby Union side?
Kiwis.
All Blacks. Mike, Snaefell is the highest point on which of the British Isles?
Wales.
Isle of Man. Jason, Malcolm X was associated with which movement?
The Black Rights Movement in America.
The Nation of Islam. Gareth, Hank Marvin is the leader of which instrumental group?
Shadows.
Correct. Mike, what do the letters IQ stand for?
Intelligence quarter.
No, it's quotient. Intelligence quotient. Jason, which sci-fi film series has installments called Insurrection, First Contact and The Wrath of Khan?
Star Trek.
Correct. Gareth.
Bank.
What was the nickname of First World War pilot Manfred von Richthofen?
Red Baron.
Correct. Mike, who is the current leader of the Liberal Democratic Party?
Pass.
Charles Kennedy. Jason, which spice is obtained from the outer covering of the nutmeg?
Saffron.
Mace. Gareth, which children's book series was written by J.K. Rowling?
Don't know.
Harry Potter. Mike, who became the British monarch in 1837?
Queen Victoria.
I'm sorry, I can't accept your answer because time is up. And you didn't reach your £1,000 target by a long way. You banked only £70. In round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, and that means in the next round there's £3,000 to be won. The question is, who could you well do without? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Statistically, Mike is the weakest link this round. He only answered 1 question correctly. However, he did bank the team the most money. But will the votes follow the facts?
OK, pens down, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mike.
Gareth.
Mike.
Gareth, you pulled your socks up a bit, didn't you?
I have, yes.
3 right.
Yes, amazing. Getting into the swing of it now.
And 3 wrong, of course.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
Well, it's not funny, really,
No,
is it, for
sorry.
the rest of the team? Jason, why Mike?
It seemed to me that he was getting more questions wrong than anybody else. Don't know whether it was or not, but that's how it appeared.
Mike, with 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I felt I got a few more questions right than the contestants. A couple of them came up with what I thought were silly answers, maybe. Gareth got a question wrong on Shergar, which I was quite surprised at. I thought the answer was pretty easy. I'm really surprised with the answer he did come up with. And maybe that's why, at the end, I voted him out.
Round 8, gentlemen. You've won £1,970 so far, out of a possible 7,000. Gareth and Jason, just 2 of you left, and only 90 seconds to play. But whatever you win in this round will be trebled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. £3,000 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Gareth. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Which synthetic material was invented by Leo Bakerland in 1908?
Bakelite.
Correct. Jason, in fashion, what is broderie anglaise a form of?
Got no idea.
Embroidery. Gareth, what does the acronym UFO stand for?
Unidentified flying object.
Correct. Jason, Colin Welland won the Best Screenplay Oscar for which film based around the 1924 Olympic Games?
Chariots of Fire.
Correct. Gareth, who was Prime Minister between Edward Heath and James Callaghan?
Harold Wilson.
Correct. Jason, which of golf's major tournaments is played at Augusta, Georgia?
The US Masters.
Correct. Gareth.
Bank.
What was the first name of the composer Chopin?
Don't know.
Frederick. Jason, in which country is the city of Kuala Lumpur?
Thailand.
Malaysia. Gareth, what is the surname of the cartoon characters Fred and Wilma?
Don't know.
Flintstone. Jason, what is the square root of 256?
13.
16. Gareth, which 2 seas does the Suez Canal connect?
The Mediterranean and the Indian.
Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. Jason, the soup known as chowder is traditionally made with which shellfish?
Oysters.
Clams. Gareth, triatomic oxygen, O3, is commonly known by what name?
Ozone.
Time's up. Gareth, you did get the correct answer for that question, but you couldn't have banked it. And of course, you didn't make it to £1,000. You won just £200. We'll treble that and add it to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means prize money today of £2,570. But only one of you can take that money away. You'll be playing against each other head-to-head. I'll ask alternate questions. It's the best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It is as simple as that, gentlemen. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Gareth and Jason, for £2,570, let's play the weakest link. Gareth, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go first.
Step forward. Gareth, how many states make up the United States of America?
52.
50. You gave me the wrong answer. Jason. This is your opportunity to take the lead. With which pop band did Bob Geldof sing the #1 hit single, I Don't Like Mondays?
Boomtown Rats.
Correct. Gareth, you need to catch up. What is the most abundant element in the universe?
Hydrogen.
Correct answer. Step forward, Jason. To stay ahead, you must answer this question correctly. The prize money you are playing for is £2,570. Jason, the Greek island of Kos gives its name to a variety of which vegetable?
Lettuce.
Correct. Gareth, Jason is ahead of you. The Canterbury Tales were written in which century? You can take your time, Gareth, because there's £2,570 on the table, and Jason is now ahead of you.
I have to say the 18th century.
The answer is the 14th century. Jason, the pressure is on Gareth at the moment. Remember, the prize money that only one of you can take away is £2,570. Jason, the vaccine administered on a sugar lump immunises against which disease?
Polio.
That is the correct answer. Gareth, you started ahead and were able to choose who went first. You now need to answer this question correctly to stay in the game. Take your time. There is no rush. Please tell me, which Brazilian won a consecutive hat-trick of Formula One World Championships starting in 1988?
Ayrton Senna.
That is the correct answer. You have remained in the game. Jason, step forward. Gareth has remained in the game, Jason, but if you answer this question correctly, the money, that's £2,570, is yours. Jason, who wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Douglas Adams.
That is the correct
Yes.
answer. That means, Jason, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £2,570. Gareth, you leave with nothing. You've been watching The Weakest Link. Goodbye.
I should have chosen the other set of questions. I would have got them all right, and he could have been landed with a Chaucer question, which I thought was an absolute stinker.
I was just overwhelmed at winning. I didn't expect to win, and sort of I was just pleased to get through the first round, to be quite honest with you, and go all the way. Absolutely amazing. I thought I answered the questions quite well, and I thought I stood a chance against Gareth. And I was right.